Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Quick Look. In this Quick Look, we're going to be going over the new fighters that came out with the Blaze of Glory PvP event. In this event, the main fighter that's being advertised is the Blaze build fighter Oracin. Oracin is legendary, has 3 self fusions, so it's not moved up to 4 yet, so, Beach was wrong, the Prophet was wrong, but, he's been right a lot, so I guess that's okay. Anyways, it's not a great legendary in all honesty. I'll have to see some of the footage of Imp All, but just by looking at it, I really don't like it. It's an okay warlock. Its defense is pretty good, I guess. Its HP, if you like super fuse it, might be okay. Maybe might be acceptable for dungeons, but I don't know. That's kind of pushing it, in my opinion. Its attack is pretty good, it's really, really, really good as just a fighter, but comparing it to other legendaries that have came out recently, I don't know. I really don't like it very much. So yeah, I honestly would not spend my money on this build. I'm really, really going to recommend against it because you could definitely get so much more value out of a different build. So that's my opinion on that one. Next we have the secondary legendary in this event, which is Wayfarer. Yeah, okay. It's honestly pretty awesome. It has a really nice defense, it has really nice HP, it has really nice attack. As expected, that means that its wisdom and its agility is going to suffer, but that's nothing that we haven't dealt with Dread already. It really looks like they're making another Dread without making another Dread, because his skill is every 2 turns. That makes him less overpowered. So basically, it's a weaker Dread. So if you like Dread and you have Dread, then don't go for this guy because he would act as a lesser version of him. It's a pretty good legend without comparing it to Dread. Honestly, 12,200 attack is pretty awesome. 10,000 HP, that's awesome. And the defense is really, really good. So, I'd pick him up if you're just going for a really good champ. I'm not sure exactly what his sign or his element will be. So, I can't really recommend anything either way at this point in time. I might update that in description later on if I get some information on it. But at the time being, I really don't see it being super useful to someone that has enough bitters to go after a Dread. But if you don't, then I'd definitely go for it. Utu Hegel. So, what's up with all of the sting every other turn, ridiculously underpowered rogues recently? First we had the last dungeon, which was Reineke, and now we have this event, which is Utu Hegel. So, just like I said before, you might be able to use this guy for some fodder, maybe. It might be useful to you for some lower end fodder. Otherwise, I can't see a use for him. I really like the sprites on these two as well. It really aggravates me because I can't see literally any use for this fighter at all. So, I'll just leave off on that. I really can't stand this. It's kind of aggravating to see DNA go towards this sort of progression. Alright, so a little bit of a rant incoming. Just a little bit of a warning. So, first off, the name. I mean, come on. Nimbarskunu. No, or Nunbarskunu. Why? Are we even trying anymore, DNA? Do you just mash your face on the keyboard? Do you punch someone in the gut and then they just go and then all of a sudden, oh, that's a great name for a fighter. So come on, DNA. Get it together. Names could definitely be better. That's just awful. So, that's the first thing I have wrong with this fighter. Second, the recolor. Ugh. Okay, the original fighter that this was based off of was pretty awful in itself, but it was a champ, so that worked, sort of. This is terrible. It's a guru, and it doesn't fit at all. It looks like it would be a tank of some sort. It has a shell with, like, I don't know, veins or something on it. I don't know. It's pretty crazy looking, and it looks like it'd be powerful or a tank. Like a fighter that would have a high attack, a high defense, and a high HP. But no, it's a guru. That makes absolutely no sense. So that's the second thing I have wrong with this fighter. Thirdly, even if those two things were completely screwed up and I had problems with them, I can't deny if a fighter is really, really good stat-wise, I just don't like the design of. Well, these stats are terrible. You have a skill that's a single target that has a 2 cooldown maxed out. So first off, you have to have high HP, high defense, and a mediocre attack to even be relevant at all. So we have 1500 HP, we have 1000 defense, and we have 900 attack. So you're working with 900 attack for 2 turns out of 3, which is awful. 4100 wisdom, it's okay. We just saw 8000 wisdom, so I'm a little bit spoiled, but, you know. 5200 agility literally is the only thing I can say that is good about this fighter. Every other thing I can say about this fighter is pretty awful. 2 cooldown smite, come on. Awful. Single target, awful. So 5200 agility might be useful for mediocre fodder for agility, so pick those up for your Attans, pick them up for your Deerps or your Amaralises if you're trying to get some of them really, really fast for PvP. So otherwise, I don't see a use for him. Completely irrelevant to every single meta. I cannot find a niche for this guy. I have literally sat and thought about this for like an hour, and I can't figure out anything where he would be useful. It's simply like an awful, awful, awful fighter that has absolutely no use and no place in this game. So I really wish DNA would reconsider using this sprite recolor for champ, but that won't happen. So I'm just going to rant over YouTube videos about it because that's the only thing I can do to show how discontented I am over this. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's that. I'm sorry you had to listen to that, but I really, really am aggravated by this particular fighter. And that about wraps it up, guys. Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subscribing. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.